Hey guys, it's Travis here. It's 5 in the morning. I couldn't sleep. I was up early with Tal, which was fun, but then he went back to bed and I stayed awake. It's the curse of being raised on a dairy farm and waking up at 4 in the morning every day until I was 13. Uh, that's another story. So I've been afraid to share this and talk about this and admit this. But I would say over the last, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 years, I've been doing a lot of work on myself and trying to heal and try to just to be a better person. And it's a work in progress, but it's getting better. And a big part of that is learning how to communicate in a better way. And so recently, in the last year or so, I've started just having random kind of not so random conversations with people, but conversations about different things that they were struggling with or conflicts that they were having. And so I started, just kind of as a friend, offering my 2 cents and offering my perspective, and listened a lot. And listening has been a big part of the last year, especially, and it's been life changing. My ability to navigate when there's conflict, and so I've gotten a little bit better at it, and given some people in my life some, I guess you could say, mentorship or just kind of guidance how to navigate through it. And I recently have a good friend of Avital's who lives in Russia, and she has some conflicts with her mom, and so I'm doing my best to kind of navigate her through that and help her to communicate and help her to talk about how she's feeling and what her needs are, and understanding needs, which I didn't really understand myself a couple years ago. So it's really just now that I'm really starting to consciously be aware of my basic needs, and there's about 9 of them. And over those last years, 5, 6 years or so, I've done a lot of research. I've studied a lot. I've battled horrible anxiety and panic attacks that I was able to completely get rid of about 6 years ago, and it's never came back. Um, so I was able to navigate that, and I was able to build a better communication system with my family, which was a struggle for a long time. And it took a lot to kind of have empathy for myself and kind of some compassion for myself to do that. So it worked, and it was good, and it's continuing to be good. I read Brene Brown's Daring Greatly, which is a great book. I think if you're having struggles with vulnerability, it's a really interesting book, and it's even more beneficial if you share it with someone or read it with someone and then work through it and talk about it and use um, real life examples of what's going on and where there's some struggle with vulnerability, either in sharing how you feel or receiving if another person is being vulnerable to you, and doing that in an empathetic, loving way. Um, so that was greatly helpful. I'm a tango teacher as well for over 20 years. Much of that time I've been teaching group classes and specifically private lessons. And in those private lessons and in my teaching, I think as a teacher you become almost overly aware of your environment and paying attention to people and how they respond and how they react, and their fears and their lacks of confidence at times. And as a teacher, it's quite easy actually to teach them tango moves. It's not too hard to do that, but it's very, very difficult to get them to believe in themselves. And so, uh, or to feel beautiful, to feel handsome, to be seen, to express, uh, to to feel and to not be afraid, and to feel safe enough to do that. So as a teacher, I helped people navigate that. So I think that's really given me an acute sensitivity to seeing people, and And I guess it makes me sad because I see a lot of people, and I look at myself in the mirror too, because I feel it for myself too. Um, just not being able to see how beautiful they are. And so I guess this is my way of giving back, I think, and honoring me um, for the gifts that I have. So yeah, it feels good though to say these things out loud, and even though it's emotional, I think that emotion is it's you want to hide it sometimes, right? You don't want to show the emotion. You don't want to be vulnerable. You don't want to let people see that you feel and maybe struggle and have self-doubt and that kind of thing. But it's real, and I think it's a beautiful thing, and it's even more beautiful when you can really connect to it and go for it and do that thing. And so, and that might mean, resolving a conflict with a brother or a sister or a mom or a daughter, and that just takes a little bit of learning and readjusting our perspective of how we communicate. It's not, it's simple, but it's not easy. And it's not unlike if today you decided to begin learning how to write with your opposite hand. So if you write right-handed, and today you stop writing right-handed and begin writing left-handed, and it's that extreme of a shift in the mind to change, but it's possible. And I'm really convinced that it's possible. And some other work that I've been doing over the last probably year and a half um, is Marshall Rosenberg, who created nonviolent communication. To me, it's something that I've found that I agree with the most in terms of how he communicates, and he teaches to communicate. Through nonviolent communication, and it's very powerful, and it's had an extreme impact on my life and the benefit and the positive. And so it's very, very helpful. He's no longer alive, but he still does have podcasts and things to listen to, and a lot of what I'll share with you is a ripple effect of things that he has said, or even quotes of things that he has said, along with other people, including my mom, who is a great beacon of hope and joy. And she, like myself and maybe some of you, is also, has a hard time really being in honor of how bright she shines. And so I constantly remind her, and I buy her fancy yoga pants. And so, yeah, make efforts, right? You try to do what you can do. So, anyways, the point of this message is to yeah, invite any of you who's going through some struggle, or even if that struggle is an eternal one with yourself, or conflicts with other people that you just can't resolve. Um, let me know, message me, and we'll have a call. And I'm pretty convinced that I can give you some insight that will either help you completely get it fixed, or help you to take that first step towards it being fixed. And I'm confident that it can be fixed. And I'm confident that you yourself can feel honor and joy for yourself more than you do today. So message me. My email is traviswidricktango.com. My phone number is 315-313-3185. I'd love to have a call or a video call, but hearing each other's voices is important. And I want to hear your voice, and I want you to hear mine. And I think there's something unique in that. In person is also an option if you're in the Annapolis area. I'm in Annapolis, Maryland. So if you're in the area, we can do this in person, especially if you can come to Annapolis, because I can't really leave much now that I'm taking care of Tal so much. So in Annapolis is best if possible. Yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks for listening, and reach out.